Yeah, Penn State versus Iowa, the preview. Penn State versus Iowa, the preview here. Chris, what are your thoughts on Penn State?
All right, baby. Let's go. Nittany Lions. So we know they're 3-0. They beat a West Virginia team. I think it was like 38-15 Christian week 1. They turned around, knocked off a Delaware team in a blowout, 63-7. And then last week, if you guys didn't watch that game against Illinois, Penn State looked pretty good in that game. I mean, they won 30-13. Illinois hung around, and I don't think Illinois is a great team this year. They definitely stepped off a ledge as far as defensively from last year. But it was a good win on the road for Penn State. Drew Aller didn't look great, though. That was probably his worst game he's played. Not writing off Drew Aller. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks they've had in the past, I don't know how many years for Penn State this year. But how is he going to fare against this Iowa Hawkeyes defense? We know Iowa brings a defense every single year in and year out. Iowa's defense is always keeping them in games. That's just what they do there. I think we all understand that. I think in this game, though, Christian, I think Penn State's going to be interesting to see how they use both those running backs, Tatron Allen and Nick Singleton, right? Those two are probably the best tandem in the country behind maybe Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards at Michigan. I mean, they're right there. I dare you guys to find another combo of backs better than those two teams have. But both have over 40 carries this year. They both look pretty good. They barely played against Delaware, so their carries are down a little bit there as far as stats go. But Illinois has a decent defense this year. Illinois, you could tell, really wanted to shut them down and make Drew Aller beat them. He had some good throws in that game, and I take it back to Drew Aller coming up in this Iowa game. Because Iowa and Illinois are very similar on defense. They're going to try to stop the run. They're going to try to beat them through the air type of game. I think this is how this is going to play out. But the big thing, Christian, I want you to mark this one down. I've talked about it a lot this last week. Penn State's defense to me is elite, like elite. I'm not going to throw them up there in the 21 Georgia, defense, but these guys are really, really good on the defensive side of the ball. They have a chance this year, probably be the best in the country, in my opinion, from what I've seen so far. They forced already 8 turnovers this year, Christian. They're all over the field. They will not allow you to run the ball on them. We all know about Iowa's struggled on offense. They look a little bit better this year, I think, Christian. And I want you to make the case for the Iowa man right here, Christian. Let me freaking have it.
Well, Chris, taking a look at Iowa, they've actually managed to put up 41 points last week for the first time in I don't even know how long. I mean, I'm not even an Iowa fan. I'm wearing this hat because, I work in Iowa. I got to support the Hawkeyes in this one, I suppose. It was against Western Michigan, and they only managed to put up 14 in the first half, so that was a little concerning. The previous 2 weeks, though, against Iowa State and Utah, they put up 24 and 20 points. Was their totals for those games, which was, 44 points. So they almost matched their same point total, albeit against probably a lot lesser competition. Take that how you will. Here's what's concerning for me. Cade McNamara was 9 of 19 for 103 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions against Western Michigan. Iowa, if they have a shot in this one, they just need to run the ball, control the clock. I mean, they're currently ranked 72nd in rushing yards, going up against a tough Penn State defense that ranks 33rd in rushing defense and 16th in total defense thus far. Iowa still looks really good on defense. I think they can get some stops early and slow down Penn State's offense early. But again, as that game wears on, I think Penn State's going to figure them out. Right? Another little stat here for you. Iowa ranks 31 in the country on total defense. And that's, and that's with games against offenses that haven't really been lighting the scoreboard up, right? I know Utah State, I think they had one where they came out and they put up 60 some odd points against a nobody school or something like that. But still, I know Iowa State hasn't really been all that great either. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that matches up. What's your final score prediction in this one, Chris?
Christian, you touched on it a little bit. And the reason why my score is going to be the way it is, and I have Iowa 13 points. I know that sounds really low, but Penn State at 30. I think this is honestly, it's not because Iowa's defense is that bad. I just don't think Iowa's offense is going to be able to move the ball much, Christian. I don't think there's going to be a lot of first downs for Iowa's offense. Therefore, you're putting Penn State's offense on the field a lot. And like I said, I'll say it again. Give me Penn State 30, Iowa 13 in this game. I think it's a very similar game last week for Penn State when they played Illinois.
Yeah, we're almost right there. I've got Iowa 14, Penn State 28.